So Doctor Who, at least the Russell T Davies era of the show, is credited for many things, such as giving us a new take on the show and introducing popular characters and new villains that we hadn't seen. But another thing the Russell T Davies era has been credited for is how it expanded the Doctor Who universe, with 2 spin-offs being released during the Russell T Davies era itself. Today I'm going to be talking about a certain corner of Doctor Who. After all, the 21st century is where everything changes, and you've got to be ready. Yep, I'm talking about Torchwood. So, yep, that's right, I decided to talk about Torchwood in this video. So, the series itself mainly asks the question, who protects the Earth when the Doctor isn't there? Well, the answer is simple, Torchwood. The first episode of the show follows Police Constable Gwen Cooper as she joins Torchwood, which is led by Captain Jack. One thing I particularly liked about Torchwood is how it dove into more of Jack's backstory after what happened with the Doctor. If you don't somehow remember what happened with Captain Jack, the Ninth Doctor abandoned Jack on the game station in Parting of the Ways. Jack tried to find the Doctor, but ended up being stranded in 1869. Jack had to live out through over 100 years to find a version of the Doctor that would coincide with Jack. And while he couldn't find another version of the Ninth Doctor, presumably Jack could have found the Ninth Doctor from the Unquiet Dead. That Doctor had not met Captain Jack yet anyway, so that probably wouldn't have worked. Anyway, Torchwood dives more into Jack's backstory, showing us what happened to him following the abandonment on the game station. We mainly see a bit of Jack's backstory in Season 2, and also in Season 1 with the Fairies episode. Another thing I have to commend the series for is how it loosely connects to Doctor Who. For example, in the 4th episode of the show titled Cyberwoman, it's referenced how the Cybermen brought down Torchwood 1. This is of course a direct reference to the Series 2 finale Doomsday and the Battle of Canary Wharf. There are a handful of connections to the main Doctor Who show. My favourite one comes in the Season 1 finale End of Days, where Jack's hand in a jar starts beeping. Most of the audience know this is the Doctor's severed hand from the Christmas Invasion special in 2005. I have to say, Russell T Davies makes it clearer how connected the Whoniverse is with the 2 spin-offs. I've always put the show and the 2 spin-offs in the RTD era on a scale, if you will. At the lower end is the Sarah Jane Adventures because it's more kid-friendly, and at the other end is Torchwood being a more darker version of Doctor Who. And then the main version in the middle is to balance out the 2, which is the main Doctor Who show, because the show has lighter and darker moments, sort of being the yin and yang between Sarah Jane Adventures and Torchwood. Anyway, the first season really establishes Jack as his own character, and not just a companion to the Doctor. Here he feels like his own person, and that really shines in the entire series. Also, another thing I liked about Torchwood was how we learned more about Jack's backstory. Jack said in Utopia that following his abandonment by the Doctor on the game station and several Big Finish adventures, he attempted to find a way back to Earth, but due to him being exterminated by the Daleks, his vortex manipulator dropped him in 1869. Quick side note, the reason Jack didn't get back to the main 21st century is because his vortex manipulator was damaged following his extermination. Jack worked for Torchwood for over a century before crossing paths with the Doctor. Even after the Series 3 finale, he still devotes his life to Torchwood. Quick side note here, in a watch along for Doctor Who, I'm not sure what episode it was, Russell T Davies officially confirmed that Jack is the face of Bo, which was already teased in the Season 3 finale, with the face of Bo being Jack's nickname since the Time Agency. Fun fact, I'm fairly certain I mentioned this in another video, Jack was also meant to appear in A Good Man Goes to War, where he would lose his head to the Headless Monks and become the face of Bo for good, which would make Jack being the face of Bo canon. At that time, the face of Bo theory was, well, of course a theory. Sadly, Jack didn't appear in A Good Man Goes to War because John Barrowman, who of course plays Jack, had scheduling conflicts at the time and was unable to film the episode. In my What If the Doctor Never Abandoned Jack video, I brought up the theory that if the Doctor crossed paths with Jack in Series 3, he could have met the face of Bo in the events of Gridlock, and then Jack could have met his future self. The face of Bo would of course recognise a younger version of himself. And still, Torchwood is widely popular to this day, with Children of Earth being immensely popular on its own. While a lot of people were devastated over it's still good. The entirety of Torchwood is great, minus Miracle Day, although a lot of people don't like that. The production on Miracle Day was kind of messy, as far as I know. Anyway, that was my video on Torchwood. If you guys want to go watch it, then you will most likely find it on BBC iPlayer. All the episodes are on there, from Series 1 to Miracle Day. And you can also find Doctor Who on there as well, because it's a BBC show. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching, guys.